Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Chem Insider. So in today's video we are going to discuss about the last two periodic properties of class 11 of the classification of elements and periodicity in properties chapter. So in this we are going to discuss about is electron gain enthalpy and electronegativity. In the previous video we have discussed about ionization enthalpy of an atom, that is an isolated gaseous atom. So that is the amount of energy which we have to provide to a nucleus or an electron in order to get that electron to its excited state from its ground state. Okay, so that is nothing but what we have discussed. As an example, take considering as sodium atom losing an electron to form sodium ion, right? So what is the use of removing an electron if we are not using it at all, right? So what is the requirement of removing an electron from a nucleus if we are not using it at all? So in this case what we are going to do is we are using this electron and we are donating it to a nucleus which is ready to accept that electron. Okay, so now what we are going to do here is, so we are considering an isolated gaseous atom which is ready to absorb electrons, okay, or which is ready to take electrons added to it. So whenever you donate electron to a system or an atom, what happens is that atom will be losing certain amount of energy. Okay, in the previous of ionization enthalpy we were providing certain amount of energy to the electron to get it excited, right? So the excited electron which now has that particular energy will be lost while they are added to the outermost orbital of the given atom. Let us say for example chlorine. Okay, so when you add electron to the chlorine atom, what happens is it get converted to chloride ion, right? So here we have enthalpy change which is negative. In this case the enthalpy change was positive, right? So if one is a positive, in this case it will be negative. That is because here when you are adding electron to a system or isolated gaseous atom, that particular atom has to lose certain amount of energy in order to hold that electron in its outermost orbit. So therefore what we usually observe is most of the element lose certain amount of energy. If certain atoms is not stable with putting that electron energy to it, what happens is they will having a positive value of enthalpy change. Like for example, when you add electron to noble gas such as helium, when you add electron to a noble gas helium, what happens is we observe a delta H which is found to be positive. So this delta H with respect to gaining an electron is called as electron gain enthalpy. So the enthalpy which is observed by gaining an electron, which is observed or released while gaining an electron, is called electron gain enthalpy. If you are adding electron to a system which is ready to take electron readily, then those system will have an enthalpy change in negative values. And if you are considering for an atom which is not ready to take that electron, you have to provide more amount of energy in order to put that electron to its outermost orbit. In this case of helium, we are providing that electron to a new shell because helium is of K shell, but if we add one more electron, that will be entering the L shell. So therefore we have to provide more amount of energy for the L shell electron. Therefore it will be delta H being a positive value. So clearly what we can say is whenever you are adding electron to a system, it might be exothermic reaction or it might be endothermic reaction, and it depends completely upon the neutral gaseous atom to which you are adding it. Okay, so now what is this electron gain enthalpy? So how can you define this electron gain enthalpy? Electron gain enthalpy is defined as the energy released while an electron is added to a neutral gaseous atom. It is the amount of energy released or absorbed. Okay, it may be an exothermic reaction or maybe endothermic reaction. It is the amount of energy released when an electron is added to a neutral gaseous atom. Okay, in this case if you are adding electron to chlorine, it has a negative value, and if you are adding electron to a helium, it will be of positive value. What we have generally observed over here is most of the electron gain enthalpies of elements, most of the elements have electron gain enthalpy value in the negatives. Okay, most of the electron gain enthalpy values are negative, and only for the noble gases it is more and more positive. In case of alkali metals, they are also kind of almost a positive nature, but there we say it as less negative values. Okay, so electron gain enthalpy is completely a negative value. In case of elements which are present next to halogen atom, elements which are present nearer to the noble gas configuration, have their electron gain enthalpy more and more negative. That is, if you consider for neon atom, so neon has fluorine, oxygen and nitrogen. All these three have very high negative values, okay, out of which fluorine has a very high negative value of -4. Sorry, 40. Fluorine has energy of -400, something like that, whereas the electron gain enthalpy for oxygen is -180 and electron gain enthalpy of nitrogen is 147 something. So this is in terms of kilojoules per mole. So electron gain enthalpy of a neutral gaseous atom is nothing but the energy released by that neutral gaseous atom, and electron is added to it. Okay, so now defining about the trend of this electron gain enthalpy across the period and down the group, it is quite similar with respect to ionization enthalpy again. So but what happens here is, whenever you are adding an electron to a neutral gaseous atom, what happens is, so if you are considering across the period, what we observe is, we observe decrease in size, right? Decrease in radii of an atom. So if radius is decreasing, it is because of the increase in effective nuclear charge. So if the effective nuclear charge is very high on the rightmost elements, what happens is, when you are adding an electron, that electron will be stably held by the nucleus because of its high effective nuclear charge. Since the high effective nuclear charge is very high for the elements on the right hand side of the periodic table, whenever you add electron to those systems, what happens is, they release more amount of energy. Okay, they release more amount of energy. So therefore those values are higher and high negative. Okay, they are more and more negative when compared to other elements. That is because whenever you add electron to an atom which has a very high effective nuclear charge, those atoms will be holding those electrons in a stable manner. Therefore what happens is, those electrons will be losing more amount of energy, which is nothing but be given by the values of high and high negative electron gain enthalpy values. Whereas in case of alkali metals, which is far away from the noble gas elements in that particular period, what happens is, we have to give energy to them so that they can hold those electrons. So therefore those atoms usually show us positive values, or we can also say them as less negative electron gain enthalpies. Okay, so this is about the electron gain enthalpy. So what is this trend is, across the period, remember, instead of saying increasing or decreasing electron gain enthalpy, what we say is, across the period electron gain enthalpy will be more and more negative. Across the period electron gain enthalpy is more and more negative. With increase in atomic number. So as we move across the period with increasing atomic number, electron gain enthalpy will be more and more negative. As we go down the group, what we observe is, electron has to enter a new orbital, right? Electron has to enter a new shell. So which means that those electrons will not be much effectively attracted towards the nucleus. Therefore we have to provide energy in order to that nucleus to hold those electrons. Therefore what we observe is, we have to provide energy, the amount of released energy will be less, so there will be less and less negative. Down the group, electron gain enthalpy will be less negative, and in some cases of noble gases it is clearly positive. Okay, so this is about the trends of electron gain enthalpy and the definitions of electron gain enthalpy. So what we observe here is, if it is the amount of energy released when you are adding electron to a neutral gaseous atom, and it becomes more and more negative as we move across the period with increasing atomic number, and it becomes less and less negative when we move down the group with increasing atomic number. Okay, so this is all about the electron gain enthalpy. Next, we'll discuss about electronegativity. So, electronegativity, it is not a type of energy released or energy consumed during a reaction. What electronegativity clearly says is, it is the extent or ability of an element. It is the extent or ability of an element to attract the electron. Electronegativity. So, electronegativity is said as the extent or ability of an element to attract the electrons towards itself, and those electrons should be in a bonds. Like for example, if two elements are forming a bond, let us say H and Cl, okay, hydrogen and chlorine are forming a bond. We know that a bond is formed when two atoms are sharing two electrons, right? When two atoms are sharing two electrons. So if I write it like this, so these are the two electrons. So the electron of chlorine will be marked in X, and for the electron of hydrogen is dotted in dot. Okay, so these are the two electrons which is forming a bond between hydrogen and chlorine. So electronegativity in these two elements is defined as the extent of that particular element to pull those electrons towards themselves. In case of hydrogen and chlorine, chlorine has a greater extent to pull those bonding electrons towards themselves, whereas hydrogen has less that kind of an ability. Therefore, what we say is chlorine is electronegative. We call chlorine as electronegative, whereas hydrogen as electropositive. Okay, we call hydrogen as electropositive and chlorine as electronegative. That is, whenever an element involved in a bond pulls the bonding electron towards themselves, those elements are said to be electronegative. Okay, and those values can be measured in multiple scales. There is Pauling scale of measurement, Millikan scale of measurement, and Roloff measurement. So there are multiple types of measuring scales in order to know the electronegativity of a given atom. What we usually use is a Pauling scale, where what we do is we take average of electron gain enthalpy and ionization enthalpy of both the elements. So what we do here in the Pauling scale is we take the average of ionization enthalpy and electron gain enthalpy of an atom, and we denote those substitute values and divide those by 2, we get this respective electronegativity. Usually, electronegativity of an atom in the periodic table is more for those atoms which are present in the top right corner of the periodic table. That means, if you consider halogens present next to helium, neon, argon, krypton, so that is fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. So what they do is, in order to obtain the noble gas configuration, because as I said in the previous videos, noble gas configuration is a stable configuration and they are unreactive with any other compounds. So what happens is, these halogens which required only one electron to be same as that of the noble gas configuration which is present next to it, what they do is they have a very high tendency to pull those electrons towards themselves. Now if you consider this hydrogen and chlorine atom itself, what we can say is hydrogen has 1 electron in its outermost orbital, chlorine has 7, right? Chlorine has 7 electrons in its outermost orbital. So what chlorine does is, when it is sharing a bond between hydrogen, that electron will be pulled towards itself in order to form 8 electron system, like this. Okay, which results in a stable octet configuration. Stable octet configuration. Octet means 8 electron configuration. So therefore, what we usually observe is the elements which are present on the right hand side of the periodic table usually have a greater tendency to pull electrons towards themselves. Similarly in case of oxygen and nitrogen. Okay, so therefore what we call those elements are electronegative elements. And those elements which lose those electrons towards an electronegative element present in a bond are called electropositive. That is, hydrogen is called electropositive element, chlorine is called the electronegative element in case of HCl. Now if you consider for one more example, let us say H2O. So here oxygen has a tendency to pull electron because it requires 2 electrons for it. So the bonding electrons in this bond are attracted towards oxygen. The bonding electrons in this molecule is pulled towards the oxygen atom. Therefore, oxygen is electronegative with -2 charge. Hydrogens are positive with 1 positive charge. Okay. So this is how electronegativity works. So how to calculate electronegativity? It is calculated by a scale of Pauling's, where what we do is we take the average of ionization enthalpy and electron gain enthalpy. So electronegativity, it is the ability of an element involved in a bond formation to attract those bonded electrons towards themselves. So if the attraction towards themselves is more, then it is said to be electronegative. Okay, and if those are losing an electron, then those are called electropositive. So now, what is the trend of electronegativity in the periodic table? Usually, the trend of periodic table is quite simple. It's almost similar to ionization enthalpy. That is, if the effective nuclear charge increases, it is directly proportional to electronegativity. Effective nuclear charge is directly proportional to electronegativity. That is because if you have a strong nucleus pulling the electrons in its orbital, what happens is it may try to pull the electrons of the next atom also. Okay, like in case of here. So your chlorine has higher electron effective nuclear charge, which is pulling this particular one electron of itself, might also pull the electron of hydrogen. Okay, so the halogens or the chalcogens, which we have discussed in the earlier classes, have a very high effective nuclear charge. That particular effective nuclear charge might pull the electron of the other atom which is bonded to themselves. So like for example, in case of HCl, the chlorine effective nuclear charge might pull the electrons of hydrogen. In case of oxygen, or in the outer molecule, effective nuclear charge of oxygen might pull the electrons of hydrogen. So what we can say is electronegativity is directly proportional to effective nuclear charge. So for the trends, if we are going across the period, what we can say is across the period electronegativity increases because effective nuclear charge increases, right? Effective nuclear charge increases, therefore electronegativity increases. Electronegativity increases. As you go down the group, effective nuclear charge decreases, and hence electronegativity decreases. So this is all about the periodic properties which are mainly important for us. Those are ionization enthalpy, atomic radii, ionic radii, electron gain enthalpy, and electronegativity. So okay, this is all about the trends of how these periodic properties are varying. In the next class, we are going to discuss about valency and oxidation state, and further we will discuss about the metallic nature of elements present in the given periodic table. Okay. If you have any doubt regarding these topics which I have explained, please do comment down below. And if you have understood the subject, please do subscribe to my channel and share this video among your friends. And thank you for watching.